Ultima!
The state of that thing.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel, which you will be probably listening to this via the Northern Rider YouTube channel. I've wanted to make a podcast for quite some time now, and so I thought I'll get into it after doing a live stream with Casual Mountain Biker and Dan and his bike. I thought, well, I think a podcast would be good. And also, I posted something on my Instagram page asking you guys what you would like me to talk about and which sort of place you'd like to hear the podcasts on. YouTube came up, and also talking about stuff that was more kind of personal and related towards me. So the topic of this podcast, if you will, is going to be a little bit, well, it's all going to be about me, so you get a chance to get to know me a little bit better, who I am, what I do, etc. So this podcast has been something that I've wanted to do for quite some time now. It's something that I'd quite like to do. I had a band many moons ago, and we went on the radio, and I've always wanted to go back and do something like that. So this is probably the closest thing I'm going to get to that. So a little bit about me, who I am, where I came from, and where I've been and what I'm going to do next. So I was born in West Germany. So it was, Germany was kind of still split into two divisions. So it had West Germany and East Germany. I was born in the West, in a small university town called Münster, which is about 2 hours away from the border to the Netherlands and up towards Amsterdam, which is a place that we used to kind of drive through to get back to the UK if we were visiting family in the UK and stuff. Father was in the forces, mother moved out there. All that's kind of standard for forces families. They'd kind of move around and stuff, and obviously like plane fares and things like that in the 80s was astronomical. So we didn't fly, and it was cheaper just to drive. So I moved to the UK when I was a little bit younger. Made friends, got bikes when I was a kid, and then started to kind of ride bikes with my friends as a kid. First bike I remember, which was actually stolen, which is sad, was a red bike. I think it was a Rolly. Not 100% sure if it was, but I remember it being red, like really sparkly red, and it also was basically covered with kind of cool stickers, and it had stabilizers on it. Moving on from that, because that was stolen, my parents bought me a new bike. And this was a green Rolly bike, or Rally, whichever way you pronounce it. Potato. I loved that bike to death. I rode it quite often. I had stabilizers on that, and the day that I took the stabilizers off was the day that one of them actually broke when I was riding around in this little kind of car park area, which my parents used to take me. We used to ride around in circles and just have a whale of a time. And this was the day that I thought, actually, I want to take these stabilizers off. And then thus began the journey of kind of wanting to ride bikes a lot more. So moving on, like from there, I mean, I had various bikes when I was a kid as well. But the main bike that kind of really stuck into my head was, it was high school. So I went to, it was secondary school. For my first sort of big kid bike, I suppose, it was a BMX. The BMX that I got was a Mongoose Brawler. I remember buying it from Edinburgh Cycles, and the day that I sat on that bike and rode it in that shop, I knew that I was going to absolutely love this bike. It was the best thing I've ever seen and ridden, and I was just totally in love with that bike. The bike went on quite a few journeys with me. I used to ride it in my local skate park. Went to indoor skate parks, went to outdoor skate parks, went all over like with friends. We used to kind of just ride everywhere. And then much later on, towards the end of school, like a lot of my friends were picking up like mountain bikes and things like this. So I was like, right, well, I still like my BMX, and I still want to kind of ride like these guys are riding. So I thought, well, why not get something that's kind of in between? So I looked at bikes, and a few of my friends had dirt jumpers, and I for Christmas got the Specialized P1, but it was the I can't remember the name of the frame, but there was a kind of like a texture to the frame, and I remember that bike just being so cool. It had a gyro on it, which was very unusual for mountain bikes at that time. I mean, you're talking about like 2004, I think, 2003, 2004. The Specialized P1, it was black. It had a 26-inch front wheel. It had a 24-inch back wheel. It had chain tensioners on it. It was single speed. I think it was like Trusfelt chromoly cranks, I think it was. The bike was just like insane. It was just such a good looking bike. Had the backwards forks on it as well. I think was that Manitou. I think I'm not might be wrong there. Or Marzocchi or Manitou. I think was one of the two that was kind of the backwards looking forks. Yeah, I absolutely loved that bike to death. I upgraded it. I got new parts for it. I got like new stems. I remember buying some Halo SAS wheels for it as well, which were white and against the black frame. It looked so good. It was really, really good. So that was the kind of like that was me for bikes for that point there really. So I kind of started like looking at bikes, downhill bikes and stuff, and I was like, nah, I don't really want to buy a bike, because I was just like, right, okay, let's kind of like cut that sort of part out now, because what happened where it was bikes just didn't really kind of do anything for me at that point. I kind of went off bikes and just left that sort of scene, and then it was kind of like a bit of a black hole for like my biking sort of career, so to speak. Then I started working in places which I thought I could just ride a bike there quicker. So I got the old Specialized P1 out. I started to kind of like Frankenstein it a little bit, change the tires, change the wheels a little bit more. Had to upgrade parts, added different pieces onto it. Even tried to put because obviously it was a Specialized P1, so it was like set up to be just single speed. So I kind of had a rear mech hanger put on it and put gears onto it and stuff like that. It was kind of weird, but it worked, and that was the best part about it. Later on from there, that was the kind of the bike that I kind of stuck with, and then I began to watch mountain bike videos again. I thought, do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to get out there and ride the bike a little bit more. I used to go to my local trail, which I went to as a kid anyway, which was like Hampstead Forest. And I used to ride there like on my own, just music on, just kind of blasting through the trails, put a GoPro on, and then just didn't really do much of it. So basically, the point of where all your GoPro footage goes to die is where you stick it on your chest or your helmet, and then you do nothing with that footage. I have actually found some of that footage, so that'll probably come out in the next video or something like that. So from that point on, I kind of just did a few things, like job wise. At that point, I mean, I was kind of in and out of different jobs. I joined the army, did a few years with that, and then just kind of went backwards and forwards. And then I had a call and started talking to one of my friends from the army, Cameron, who you've seen in some of my videos, and we just kind of basically started to talk about like how cool it would be to do like a little trip. And we originally came up to do when he came up to mine, because he lives down in Taunton, so he came up to mine to go up to Scotland to go and do some snowboarding. I was going to teach him, since I've been snowboarding for quite a while, and skiing as well. So he came up, and then he brought his bike up as well. I was like, oh, it'd be cool to go for a winter ride, and he said yes. Brought the bikes up. We went to we actually went to Hampstead Forest, not Chopwell, and we realised that we went through the Danny Hart downhill track, not realising that you have to pay to go through the track, but it was closed at the time, which was kind of okay, but kind of not. So we rode that in like like knee deep snow, which was kind of funny, and it was brilliant. We both had hardtails at the time. We both had like very limited experience on bikes at that point, and we just had an absolute blast. We ended up going up to Scotland, having a great adventure up there, like just like doing a little bit of snowboarding. We did Nordic walking, things like that, because then we got kind of trapped up there because the roads closed, and it was just it was really good because like I kind of like started. I wanted to kind of document it, and I was making a video about it, but I didn't have the Northern Rider in mind at that time, and I was kind of selling the idea to myself that yeah, we can make a video from this, and that's cool. And I thought, well, why not? I did make a photography YouTube channel, and it kind of went to the point where it was like I made a few videos, and I was like, why aren't people coming to this video? Like, this is really good content. It wasn't. Spoiler alert. It was just kind of really average kind of stuff. Although a couple of videos seemed pretty cool, and I was kind of wanting to do that kind of travel style vlog and things like that. Yeah, so we kind of connected over that, and then like things got a little bit more serious after that. Um, I went away to kind of do winter seasons, spent a lot of time skiing, snowboarding. Like skiing was a huge part of my life as a child anyway. Then like before I kind of like decided what I was going to do next, I thought, well, I I like teaching people like how to do things and stuff like that. So I became a ski snowboard qualified instructor. So that happened with a company called SIA Austria. If you are interested in becoming a ski and snowboard instructor, either or both, then I would highly recommend getting in touch with the guys from SIA Austria. Uh, I did work for them. I don't work for them now, but I owe them quite a lot due to the fact of what they've taught me, which was way beyond what I ever imagined. Um, like it's not just the company itself, but the instructors, the support. I did end up working for them for one season in Canada. Um, I absolutely love this company. I love what they stand for. They're actually, if the majority of them are from the northeast of England as well. I fully support them. I'm not getting paid by these guys to say these things. I just genuinely have like good things to say about these guys. So SIA Austria. So I got qualified for the Anwärter and Landes, which is the two different sort of two levels. Like your Anwärter is like your kind of like your first step, then Landes is the more advanced, and then it's so on and so on. But this is through the Wiener Ski und Snowboard Association. So that is just the Vienna Ski and Snowboard Association. They are an association, surprise, surprise, which has like a qualification board, and they basically set the standard for the qualification and also to the schools who are training people to be qualified to be ski and snowboard instructors. Do you need to be able to ski and snowboard? The sad truth is, no. You can do a ski and snowboard course. You can do like a beginner's course, learn how to ski, learn how to snowboard, and then get go through the training. These guys will teach you everything. They'll take you from zero to hero, basically, on skis and snowboard. They are super good. I can't like honestly, I can't like put into words how good these guys are. Yeah, so that kind of happened, and then I came back from I came back from Canada actually, and that was the kind of like I was thinking about Canada, like staying in Canada over that season and going like mountain biking there because I thought, oh yeah, Whistler's not too far away from where I was, etc., etc. I thought, yeah, it'd be cool to do something for the summer, because a lot of ski snowboard instructors do tend to go mountain biking, but a lot do go surfing and things like that. Yeah, so I came back home and then kind of started looking into like researching mountain bikes and how I was going to afford it and things like this. So I looked towards like a full suspension as opposed to a hardtail. I thought, well, maybe it's a trail bike, things like that. So I got onto the Caliber website. Um, there was a lot of noise about Caliber bikes. I looked at different magazines and saw them in there, and then I came across a few groups. So I currently ride a Caliber Boss Nut Evo, which was the 2018 model of the Boss Nut series. Anyway, this bike has been instrumental in helping me create this channel. It's helped me get out and ride a lot more. It's helped me kind of, it's put me in a better place, like mentally and physically as well. So this bike has been like a huge sort of like uplift in my life, if you will. So the bike itself, I've been like to Scotland. I've been like all across the northeast. I've ridden quite a bit on it, to be honest with you. Then I sort of kind of thought, well, what about if I just make some videos about the bike as well? Because like I love this bike. Like I really want to tell somebody else about this bike. And then kind of just sat down and then started kind of playing around with like video and stuff like this. And I thought, well, why don't I just do a bike check? Like it was just a comical sort of, just a Mickey take on like the bike checks that you see like on GMBN or something like this, or like these kind of professional ones, and it's like all this really like cool tech on the bike and stuff like that. And I thought, I've just got a stock bike. Yeah, so fast forward a year later, that video's now got 10,000 views on it, and the channel's got quite a few subscribers. Like I think that's just amazing. Like the Caliber Boss Nut Riders group, which I joined as well, like over a year ago, was just like really good for me. Like they helped me, supported me, like things like I needed to fix bikes and things like this, and people give advice and stuff, and like the bikes themselves are like just the best bikes like for a budget rider ever, and we've created this sort of family with this bike as well, which is really really good to see. And hopefully through this channel I'm trying to create, making a community which would kind of like help each other out and stuff, and do meetups and stuff, and be more than just some guys, some people watching the channel and going, yeah, I clicked like on that, have a sort of like a meetup along the way and be able to kind of help each other out, support each other, etc. Like just exactly what the group did for me and stuff. So that is like kind of like where we are roughly up to with myself. Like on top of this, like, because like these videos take a long time to, and don't forget like the days where you just really don't want to do anything, so you're kind of like, oh, I don't want to do this. It happens. On the side, like I do like freelance photography. I shoot photos mainly in the winter season. I love shooting photos. Been shooting photos since I was about 8 years old. I think that's probably the main sort of passion I have in life, other than bikes, really. I have like a background in sort of like a smaller background in graphic design. I'm completely self-taught, do logos, that sort of stuff like that, like kind of like a logo designer, but do leaflets, flyers, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that's kind of like the main thing. Other than that, like you usually find me kind of climbing mountains, with skis on my back, a camera strapped to my chest, and all sorts of weird shenanigans. I like to kind of explore and see the world for what it actually is, as opposed to running down the tourist trap. So I guess like this this channel, I would say, is a way to kind of show people that there is another side to exploring the world. A lot of what you see 'cause on like Instagram and well, social media in general is kind of a lot of people going to these famous spots and going, "Oh look, I've travelled here and stuff like this," which is great. It's good that people are travelling and broadening their mind and stuff, but there's a lot more to see other than just tourist traps. And I want to do that with my bike. I want to be able to kind of go to spots which may not have been known to other people before or things like that. So, for example, like I really want to explore the like mountain ranges in certain areas across Europe. I want to be able to carry my bike on my back and kind of hike up to a certain place and then like ride down like different mountainous areas, abseil down somewhere, climb up something with the bikes and things like this, and just have like this crazy adventure, which isn't normal. A lot of inspiration, I would say that I took from that. It was probably like Hans Ray, Hans No Way Ray. He was a huge inspiration to me, apart from being, the most German man ever. He currently resides in Los Angeles, I believe, and he does these absolutely stunning videos all across the world. He travels all over the place, and one that particularly kind of caught my mind was the video that he did with Danny McCaskill, and this was climbing up in Kenya up to Mount Kilimanjaro. Now, that in itself, I mean, the dude's, he's getting on in age, and he was still climbing it like an absolute boss. And that kind of really triggered off like my sort of exploration sort of mode in my head. And I was like, look, I do a lot of this anyway, but like not with a bike. So I kind of want to explore everywhere with the bike and show that these bikes can go anywhere and you can do anything, because there is still people out there who are like, you need to have the best bike ever, you need to have this frame, you need to have that, you need to have 10 grand worth of bike. Like, I really don't believe that. Like, I think you can do anything on anything. Just it all comes down to you. Yes, there's going to be limitations, but as long as you keep your limitations in check and your expectations in check, then the world's kind of your oyster, so to speak. And yeah, so that's kind of where I am. That's where I'm at the moment, and kind of thinking and stuff. So I really want to produce videos which you don't see very often in our sort of like community of like mountain biking. There's probably some channels out there that do that. I've not seen them yet. I've kind of looked all over the internet and stuff like that. So this will go on YouTube, so you can leave some comments down below about, well, whatever you want, really, whatever you think. If you've seen some good videos that you want me to watch, if you've seen some good sort of like locations, or if you've got good ideas that you think you'd like to see in future videos, then by all means just drop a comment down below. It means the world to me. I always reply. Like, doesn't matter. Like, I've not got that busy that I can't reply to people. In a weird way, I'm kind of hoping I am, because then like it means that there's a lot of traction, and then I can perhaps kind of like lean the videos towards more what people are asking. So yeah, I want to kind of collaborate a lot of my experiences and put them all together in a big mismatch of cool videos for you guys to see. So this is it. I haven't done podcasting before, so you're gonna hear a lot of you're gonna hear a lot of that till I kind of get quite comfortable with this, and you're gonna see a bit better flow. If you watch my first videos, you'll see that from that point there, going up to my latest videos, you'll see like the change like in the way that I perform in front of the camera. The experience kind of plays into a lot of that as well. So I do like to ramble on also as well. You'll probably find that a lot. But if you've made it to this point, then thank you so much for being the awesome people that you are and making this community all about just the bikes in general, and about each other. Lastly, I don't want to take this on for too long. I want to kind of like document a lot of what's going on upstairs in my head, putting it out on podcast. But a lot of it is going to be like trying to talk to other people, to talk to real people, about like their experiences with mountain biking and things like this. So I'm looking for more people to kind of talk to on the podcast as well. So if you're interested and you have an interesting story, then please get in touch. You can leave a comment down below, or you can find me through any of my social media, so Facebook and Instagram. You can just go on The Northern Rider. Don't forget to like, subscribe this video, and also follow the video as follow my Instagram, all that kind of good stuff. I'm also on Twitter as well. You can find me on there. Just type in The Northern Rider. I'm sure it'll come up. So yeah, I don't think I've really got anything much else to say, other than thank you again. I appreciate everybody's sort of time and effort of replying to videos, leaving comments on videos and that sort of stuff. So once again, thank you very much, and don't forget, I'm The Northern Rider. Thanks for listening in, and I'll see you in the next one.